New Day Northwest is sponsored by Humana.
Welcome back. If you have Medicare, now is the time to select or change your Medicare plan for the next year. And even if you don't have it, you might be helping a parent or a grandparent find the right plan. So here to share more about choosing your 2018 Medicare Advantage plan, please welcome back Humana's Catherine Field. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So when is the deadline? People are looking at 2018 Medicare Advantage, right? And their prescription drug plan. So what's the deadline?
So the open enrollment period started a couple weeks ago, and it runs through December 7th. So people still have a chance to take a look at plans, think about whether they want to stick with original Medicare, do they want to stick with their current plan, do they want to try a new plan. Still lots of time, but it ends December 7th.
Okay, so we have between now and then. What are some of the options that people need to be thinking about?
So there's a lot, and sometimes it's kind of confusing.
It is.
There's a lot of terms and jargon that people aren't really very familiar with, except for this time of the year, then everybody has to get really familiar. So when you think about Medicare, I really think about four big categories. There's Medicare, there's Part D plans, there are supplements, and then there are Medicare Advantage plans. So Medicare is the government-funded program that pays for folks that are over the age of 65 or disabled. Folks that it covers their hospitalizations and doctor visits, but it doesn't cover Part D or the prescription drug plan.
So you pay extra for that.
Yeah, so then you have to pick a Part D plan. That also you need to enroll in at this time of year. Then there are supplements. Medicare only pays 80% of the covers of the cost, and then you as the consumer pay the other 20%. So a supplement or a gap plan fills in and pays that portion. So sometimes folks who are on original Medicare, they'll have a Medicare, they'll have a Part D plan, and they'll have a supplement plan. So that sometimes gets a little confusing and a little costly. So the other major option is to go to a Medicare Advantage plan, and that will cover not only your out-of-pocket, it'll cover your hospitalizations, your doctor visits. Many of those plans cover your Part D as well. They will also have what's called a maximum out-of-pocket. So original Medicare will cover, again, Medicare covers 80%, you cover 20% on every service, whereas if say you had a catastrophic health care condition,
that could be a big deal.
That could get really big. So these Medicare Advantage plans have a maximum out of pocket. You'll never pay more than X amount. The other thing that's kind of different about Medicare Advantage is that there are predictable copays. So you know that your pharmacist, or you know that your physician would be $10 or $30,
That's important.
or your hospitalization would be predictable. It wouldn't be this sort of innocuous, this 20% of something big, and I don't know how to understand that.
Could be astronomical depending on. Now the ACA enrollment, if I understand this, is a shorter period of time than it's been before. How does that overlap with or apply to Medicare? Yeah,
well, it doesn't apply to Medicare or folks that are Medicare eligible, but people that do qualify for the individual market, so the ACA, that enrollment period has shrunk. It's about half the time it was last year, and that runs from November 1st, so starts next week, through December 15th. So folks have a little bit more time to, Medicare Advantage still goes on until the 7th, so they still have time to think about it, and there's lots of great choices out there this year. It's a very competitive market. Many of those Medicare Advantage plans have all the sort of extras that come along, so things that Medicare never covers, like the hearing, vision, dental,
but you still have all those things, and you want to make sure they're covered. So it's a good idea to know what, or think about what, before you begin to choose a plan.
Yeah, so we always encourage people to think about three things. One is think about how much did you spend last year on care, and how much do you think you're going to spend next year. Then also think about your physician. Is your physician in network, your hospital in network that you go to? And that you want to think about provider is just as important as plan. So this is a good time to think about, is your provider really giving you the care and attention and proactive preventative care services that you need? So think about your doctor. And then finally, think about all those other extras. You know, do you want a plan that covers hearing? Medicare never covers hearing, so many of these Medicare Advantage plans do. Or do you want your gym membership covered, or acupuncture? So there's a lot of extras that come with Medicare Advantage, but you got to get a chance to know which get out there and research and think about it. Yes.
Okay, so what is the best way to find out about this? With Humana, for example, what do we do?
So our plan, you can certainly go to Humana's website, where there's lots of information like I've just described and talks about all our plans. You can also go to the government website at medicare.gov. That's a great place to go. Again, lots of information. We encourage folks to talk to their friends and families, maybe their physician office. There are brokers or agents out there that can help you also find out more about the plans and what matches up with your own needs.
So are there people we can talk to?
Yeah, so
actual people?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. If you go to the Humana website, that will give you a link to an agent and you can make an appointment online. They'll come out and they'll help you walk through all these various categories that I talked about today and figure out what's right for you.
You said they'll come out. They'll actually come to your house?
They'll come to the house. They'll meet you at a coffee shop, whatever you're comfortable with.
Cool.
But that really is, buying a plan there's a lot to think about, and we want to make sure you have lots of information to make that good decision.
And if you don't make a decision at all, does what you have just roll over for another year?
It just rolls up. Yes, exactly. So if you're on straight Medicare and you don't make a decision, you'll stay on Medicare. If you're on a Medicare Advantage plan with Humana and you don't make any changes, you'll stay with Humana.
So that means you have to wait for another year before you have a chance to change
You can choose a plan, and then if you get into the new year and you want to go back to straight Medicare, original Medicare, you can do that. But you can't switch to another plan.
You can't go the other way. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's a lot to remember and think about, right? To get in contact with Humana or to find more information about signing up for Medicare, please visit humana.com/Medicare. We will also put Humana's phone number on New Day's homepage in case you'd rather talk to a person. Up next, a new book reveals the power of the unconscious mind. We'll be back with that discussion. Thank you.